Uh, and now,
Thank you.
we are just talking about Nigerian culture versus diaspora reality, and
Yeah.
if you've been listening, I've been talking on the show about our differences, and I managed to spill out the fact that you have a relationship with a Caucasian, with a Caucasian woman, not a Nigerian woman, you know,
That's
and
right.
yeah, and as we're saying things, I just quickly want to catch an overview from you. So I would ask you some questions, and you would tell us. Let's see where we're going. Um, you grew up in Nigeria, right?
Yes, I was born in Nigeria and grew up, went to primary school, secondary school in
Yeah,
Nigeria. Yes.
yes. And you had relationship in Nigeria, or you only watched your dad and your mom's relationship in Nigeria?
I had relationship, yes,
Yeah.
but those sort of relationship is not really. I don't know. Yeah.
You won't
What
really.
do you mean by relationship?
It's childhood,
What kind of
you
relationship?
it's just childhood, seeing how you have a girlfriend or something like that, just
Yes, yes, yes,
yes.
yes. That sort of stuff. Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Good, good. Now,
yeah.
coming abroad and involving with please excuse me if I just use the word white, so that we are very on the point. If I say Caucasian, people still be bringing out their dictionaries. But let me just say,
That's
okay.
right. Yeah.
So, if you were involved with a white woman, what struck you first? Were you worried that you would lose your culture? Your friends wouldn't come and see you. You wouldn't be accepted. How did you?
Hmm.
What struck you when you went into a relationship with a non-Nigerian?
Um, Perhaps it's my upbringing because I was, so should I say, we were quite exposed very early on in growing up with sort of white people coming to, see us sometimes at home. And a couple of my aunties lived in the UK, so
Okay.
they're always sort of coming back. And so, meeting a white woman, um, my ex-wife
Yeah.
now, um, it wasn't out of the out of the ordinary for me in a way. So I didn't see it as something strange. Although my family at the time objected to me, when I wanted to get married to her,
Yes.
they objected, but I insisted. Well, I didn't see it as something extraordinary. No.
Yes, yes. So I want to. Why we're doing this is like we're looking at Nigerian culture versus diaspora reality. What we need to
Yes.
take from our culture, what we need
Yes.
to adjust, or what we need to improve on. Um, so,
That's right. Yeah.
from a cultural standpoint, from a man who has been involved with Nigeria a lot before, were you ever
Hmm.
struggling, with your wife now? Do you remember any conscious struggles to say this is because of where I'm coming from, and how did you have?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So-
Yeah. You know, with regards to the there's a struggle. I mean, now from from elevated, viewpoint, I can say that there's quite a lot of struggle at the time. Although I went in, you know, full speed into a relationship, some of it can be down to sort of infatuation and not caring because you were young, you just want to experience life without regards to the consequences of what you're doing.
yeah.
So, but looking back now, I can see quite a lot of conflicts that emanate from the different culture that I grew up in and the culture that she grew up in. For example, I will always sort of act out as if, I'm the man of the house, so to say.
Yes.
I'm always sort of, that sort of our culture. Man of the house is always right. You can just go out and stay out with your friends and come back anytime you want, and expect everything to be
To
okay.
be okay.
And when your wife talk about it, you just get upset and then go out again and stop out again and come back when and she will beg you and then everything will be okay. So those sort of things that the things that we saw growing up, our fathers were doing, which we thought is a normal thing,
Yes.
obviously becomes a conflict in this sort of relationship where you sort of, encounter a different culture where, men has to respect their women, especially in the Western culture. You have to give the woman the respect that is due to her. You cannot disrespect her like that.
Yes.
So, that is one example. Yeah.
What about now in the marriage? And I have to say to you, if we go into a break, I'm going to call you back so we can continue talking. But now in the marriage, how was your family and her family? Was it easy for you to bed in to her family? Were they very accepting? Were your family the same thing?
Her family, they're also exposed because they lived in South Africa at the time where we met.
Okay.
So they're quite sort of traveled and exposed, and although I can say that they were not sort of into accepting me like fully.
Yeah.
Although they have to respect the wish of their daughter.
Yes.
They have to respect her, like, my family as well. They have to respect my wish, Then everybody just get on.
Yeah.
But you can feel that there is still, tensions here and there.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Let me ask again. What about, our cultural things like, before I come to children, let me check like washing dishes, cooking, cleaning, ironing. Yeah. Are you the type of man when you got married, you felt the woman needed to know or be doing this?
Yes, that's obviously that's the way I grew up. That's how I grew up because growing up, my dad is always working away.
Yes.
And my dad, he worked in Abuja whilst we lived in Enugu, and then so he travels and. Sometimes he stays away for like 3 months, a month, and come back again, and so the relationship is not, especially on the dad side, it's not really there, so to say, because they always, I don't know about you, but my dad is always away working, and come back and then stay with us for like maybe 2-3 weeks, and then go off again on this, business trips.
Okay.
So, I grew up, with that outlook that I have to be away.
Yes.
Yeah. Working whilst my wife has to stay at home and, take care of the home and, be a homemaker more or less.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that my wife would be